Never had a mortgage, never had a bank loan. I must have known unconsciously. Very good, true. That's your intuition telling you to stay away from it. Unfortunately, I was into 60 of them, and I knew that things were completely corrupt. But I needed the banks at that time to to build my houses and get them sold. That was my livelihood. I seen that was very exciting. Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's all a Ponzi scheme. The whole thing out there is a Ponzi scheme, and I'm basically telling everybody now, get out from underneath your debts, and if you can't and you think you're tied into a contract, whatever, just get a copy of the contract from whatever the lender is and whatever, and just stop paying them and get them in the court. All this is going to go away sooner or later, and it's going to happen. A lot of it's going to happen this year, and it might spill into next year. Who knows? Yeah. So I'm going to let everybody know. We're going to go down the rabbit hole here a little bit, and just to let you know, we're not alone on this planet. Okay, we're not alone, and I know that there's maybe 6 billion people out there that have no idea what's going on, and they're walking basically aimlessly through life. This is exactly what's going on. Now, the reptilians, okay, that have been amongst us for, as long as we've been here, okay? And the reptilians they basically need us to survive. They need us to survive because they need us, number one, they need to rule over us, but they need us for food. And they need the blood for adrenochrome. Right? That's their drug. And that's what that's what the freedom fighters and patriots have been basically deleting and exterminating. They can't leave. They can't leave because they're born here. Where do they go to? They only know Earth as home. We should, really be aware of this. We were born here. Where are we going to leave to, right? They're in the same situation. But the problem is that, we never had a human force such as this now, and to basically take them down. When I say they want to rule over us, they use us as cattle, or have been using us as cattle. They have their technology. And their, the way they can shapeshift and move into us, looking like us, is something that we cannot do. We have the capability, but they got on top of our genetic, and mind control. And they started assimilating with the NAZIs back in 1933. When things start, before that, there was only armies and wars and other, armies conquering each other and whatever. And they were able to move around basically, unnoticed, okay, for those centuries that went by. But soon as the armies, it came into 1917, when, there was actually world wars that were going on, technology, I guess, was risen, and our, it wasn't really our frequency, it was our technologies and communications start rising. That's when they started assimilating with the reptiles and the Nazis and so on and so forth. And this is why we have the mess that we have. And the Nazis basically, everybody thinks that they were defeated. You can't defeat an anthill when you just smash it. You have to surround it and then burn the whole pile, and you have to contain it. And that's something that the Allies did not do in the Second World War. Yes, they cannot leave the planet. The one that are left here are basically were hatched here. Okay, they were hatched here thousands and thousands of years ago. They claim that they've been here longer than we have. Okay, so yeah, we have a another species or being that is very highly intelligent, but we're quite intelligent as well. Okay, so and we're starting to prove that by doing the advanced offensive challenges that we have, and we've been battling this. And Tulsi Gabbard can she'll explain it to you right off the get go. She says, these criminals, these reptiles, when they're pushing back harder and harder and harder all the time, they know what the end game is for them. And when the white hats make a move, okay, and we conquer and take something out, then they come back and they do a counter move. And this struggle has been going back and forth since 2016. So we've been in this now for almost 10 years. They will go after, who has, they'll go after anybody who has strong leadership, and they will target them, okay, and unalive them, and then, of course, take their place and shapeshift and put a body double in there. And that's quite apparent the way things are right now. Okay, so this is why you see, Commander Trump having all kinds of pushback and the people and media out there demonize him, because these reptiles have basically infiltrated every part of our society throughout the world. And it's a massive undertaking. There's also, they have human traders that have gone against their own brothers and sisters, and they think that by siding with the reptiles, I'm going to call them the lizards, by siding with the lizards, that they're going to have some kind of reprieve and, huge fortune and all kinds of wonderful things and whatever when this is, when they beat the humans. But that's not the case. The reptiles are known for, they'll use something or a human to the point where they don't need them anymore. Then they'll throw them in the chop block and eat them up or whatever they're going to do with them. And that's basically it. They have no compassion for the human life. And we as humans, the way we have been coming, we have basically no compassion for animal life. Based on how we're mass producing and going through these manufacturers of slaughterhouses and killing animals the way we do in the fashion that we do, we should be, we need to restructure our whole complexion on how we, treat others. Humanity needs to wake up to all this. First of all, it's to recognize and understand that there is reptiles out there. I've been seeing them for, I didn't know what they were, but when, I started seeing some really weird shit way back in the day, and I couldn't figure it out. I mean, the black eyes and all this other stuff, and I said, geez, that's really weird shit, right? And then, of course, I'm getting, and when I started listening to Jaco way back in the day and Gene Decode, it just like my lights just popped on. I said, that's what they are, right? So, I mean, and I've been, I can tell very many different stories, because once you become aware of all this that's going on, you're actually out there looking for it. You're looking to see, the movement and body language of different people, and especially when you're in coffee shops and stuff like that. And I like I said, down in the Lower Mainland here, I've come in across a really nice group of people. I call them, they're my family from the Lower Mainland, and we get to have coffee together and stuff like that. And it was nice to be able to show them or show a few of them basically what they look like, and they're quite harmless. They're scared to death. These reptiles are scared to death, okay? Because their only weapon, other than what they do, I'm not going to go there, but basically their only weapon is their disguise. And they're when they can masquerade and look like a human, but there's things that they'll give them away. I want everybody to go out there and start looking at these films. Just type in reptilian and show an interest in, and then of course, if you show that interest in what's happening to learn that we're not alone, then of course TikTok will start dropping more and more of of sightings and certain situations that's going on. I'm always running into it because, and I'm seeing it with my own eyes. This is not CGI. This is not movie makeover or whatever they want to do, as much as they like to think it is, or maybe the NPCs will claim that it is, but it's not. Because I've seen it with my own eyes. And I'm not going to get into the stories, okay? Yeah, he also says the QFS is fake. And I'm not going to, I just, there's a lot of things that you're going to have people out there that you think are good, but are controlled opposition, or they're maybe working or something. I don't know. All I know is that, it's hard to convince me that Obama is a good guy after everything that he's gone through. We all witnessed it. Anybody that was, that was born before, the 2000s can see very, very, basically, can see exactly what happened, what went on. When he came in, everybody was so googly-eyed about him coming, and, oh, yeah, we have a black president, and he's going to make changes. But then I just started seeing, who is this guy? And I said that to myself way back when. I says, who is this guy? And I says, oh, okay, well, there's Jesse Jackson, and he's got tears coming down his eyes, and okay, well, I'm okay, maybe he knows him. So I started doing a little bit of research on there, and I couldn't find nothing. And I'm going, well, this is kind of crazy. They're saying, well, he was a lawyer in Chicago and all this other stuff, but there was no backstory on him. And I just started getting this real, these chills. I'm going, something's going down here, right? And then, of course, you start seeing his behavior. Yeah, Barry Soetoro. Lone Wolf is is it a white patch? Yeah, like I say, everybody's talking with each other. Okay, Alex, King Smarty said this morning that 15 U.S. banks are doing currency exchange. That, Sheila, is wonderful news. Maybe I can get some money exchange before I go. And I just want to say something here. The people are traveling right now, and, I don't feeling about the travel. I think everything's just going to be fine. Not to worry anybody. Yeah. Uh, their bloodline will never lie. Yeah, exactly. Clinton, Bush, and all and our one family bloodline. Yes, I know, and it's that's what they're taking. That's what they're taking out. And like I said, they're all been compromised now. Even maybe Trump. Well, let's just play this out. The military alliance is in control of this. Okay, Trump is not. He's there as a figurehead, whatever you want to call him, the coach. However you want to, lay out this football game, what's going on. But I'm going to tell you right now, work about bringing prosperity and freedom back for not just the American people, but for humanity. So I support him 10,000%. Don't trust MAGA with your children. Well, you're obviously you I just don't want to even go there. I have no words for your sickness. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Sheila. See,